Hey, hey, hey.
Tamam mı onlar? Açamadım ya şeyleri.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey. Hey, hey.
Sì.
What's the first thing?
Ses.
Şunları numaraya göre koyalım istedim. Numaraya göre koyalım istedim.
Evet, onları yeni bilelim ya.
Şu 4 şu an mesela. Ben buraya 5'i koyacağım. Burada 7 olacak. Şurada
Nasıl yapalım? Biz saat
1,
yönünde
2, 3
yapalım.
olsun istiyorsan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
1, 2, 3,
6,
4, 5, 7 olsun.
7. Aynen öyle yapalım.
Şu 1, 2 olacak.
Abi
Şimdi uğraş.
çizgi şeklinde olan falan konuşulmaz. O çakışıyor bak. Evli yaşlar ortalık kim yedi? Dar onlar ne yesin? Bizde var, onda yok galiba. Aslında ters oldu. Bir de yeşil yanıp sönüyor var. Yeşil saat falan. Mail mi atmış ya? Remote'çular için mail atmış. Kuş kalmış. Değil. İnternet.
Harbi mi?
Aynen. Dokundu artık yani. Wireless'la bağlı bırakmak lazım. En azından kablo çıktı mı wireless kalsın.
Boşver abi. Biz teknik kısmı
Sound check. Hey.
Comments on what's going on. I mean,
Hey.
right.
Hey. Ya kaç mikrofon aynı anda kullanabiliyor ki?
No, yeah,
Bir de yanındakine bak.
we try and encourage
Hey. Hey. Hey. Hey. Hey. Aa, sırayla galiba. Tek tek konuşturuyor. Maksimum 2 kişi. Kapatalım.
kapıyorum.
send me the link,
Bak ben açacağım şimdi.
get it attached.
Konuşamıyorsun. Maksimum 2 kişiymiş. Yeni öğren.
Channel
Hey.
like the night before and the day of, so people know that's another way to engage. Yeah, yeah. In terms of on our end, Twitter, and we're gonna keep tweeting the
Sound
link
check.
to the remote participation.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. We can do that. Yeah. I also
Hey. Hey.
the host country chair for each main session. I'm gonna. Your moderators are Alice. Okay. Maybe what would be good if you could email me and copy both of them, and then I will send you and them the notes. We just prepared some optional speaking notes for each chair, and I'll get you in touch with them. So, yeah, it's 3-4 minutes. It's just the formality, you know, 'cause each of the main sessions, there's a host country chair. Yeah, they open, they say, the session is now open, here's the session, this is what we're going to talk about, I now hand it over to blah, blah, blah. And we have a script. And then it just runs as is, and then they close and they say whatever they want. If they want to say something about the situation in the host country, and it's I forget who it is, but it's a professor. I mean, somebody who knows the issues. Hopefully knows the issues. But I'll just want to coordinate so they don't mess up. Do you want me to send you the 2 moderators? I'll just all of them. Thanks. I'll send you 5 or 6 short statements. Great. All right. Thanks.
Hey, sound check. Say hey. Sound check. Deneme 1 2 ses kontrol. Hey ha. Hey ah. Hey ah. Hey. Ya ben ona buradan bir şey yapamam. Şeyin diğer baksınıza ya da oraya bakmanız lazım. Hey. Hey. Hey. He? Basın mikserinde olabilir. Yani buradan yapabileceğim bir şey yok çünkü zaten ben bunları döndürüyorum. Hey hey. Sound check. Kanal değiştirdi bakalım. Ben gideyim oraya. Hey. Efendim? Yok benim yanımda hemen. Kalem var bir tane şurada. Hey hey. Hey hey hey hey. Bakın şimdi oraya çok... Hey sound check. Sound check. Var mı şu an bir şey? Hey. Sen sound check. Hey hey sound check. Deneme 1 2 sound check. Ses deneme. Hey hey. Hey hey hey hey. Hey sound check. Hey sound check. Hey hey sound check. Deneme 1 2 sound check. Ses deneme. Hey sound check. Deneme 1 2 3 4 hey. Hey sound check. Deneme 1 2. Ses deneme kontrol 1 2.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to start in like 10-15 minutes, so thank you very much for being here in the room with us this morning.
Hey hey sound check. Say deneme ses deneme kontrol. Hey sound check. Sound check. Hey hey hey. Hey hey sound check. Ses deneme kontrol 1 2 hey. Sound check. Sound check 1 2 ses deneme kontrol. Hey sound check. Deneme kontrol ses prova. Say say prova kontrol. Ses deneme. Say hey hey hey hey prova. Ses kontrol. Say say hey hey Okey. Kabloda sıkıntı var burada. Hey hey hey hey.
Перші заходи на букву Т не проходять зараз.
Hey. Hey, hey.
Can you put a timer on the screen? Like a visible timer? We need timer on the screen.
Time.
Like, yeah, when starts something.
Hey. Hey. Hey, hey.
Good morning. May I please request all of you to come up and join us at the table? It would be nice if we can have the session as a closed, intimate gathering of people. So a request for everyone to please come up, join us at the table. Thank you.
Hey, hey. Sound check. Hi. Hey, hey.
Rejiye gönderiyorum aynı kanaldan sesi.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Onu o kenarda.
Hey, hey. Sound check. Hiç. Hey, hey. Hey, 1, 2. Sound check. Hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, sound check. Hey hey. Az önce vardı.
Ya bir an vardı sonra bir daha yok oldu ya.
Hey hey. Ben veriyorum. Ya benlik bir şey yok. Ben gönderiyorum aynı sinyali. Hey. Ötesi kaçta? Hey. Hey hey hey. Hey hey hey hey. Hey hey hey hey. Hey hey. Hey hey hey hey. Tamam başlatalım. Başlatalım kaydımızı. Bitmez onun işi. Başlat. Hey. Hey hey. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Test.
Hiçbir şey yok. Abi dur bir. Kapat.
Ses.
Bak. Tamam yani.
Hey hey, sound check. Ses deneme. Hey hey. Hey hey. Hey hey. Hey. Hey hey. Hey hey. Sound check. Ses deneme 1 2. Hey. Sound check. Yeter artık ya. Toplantı başlıyor. Hey hey. Hey hey. Sound check. Ses deneme kontrol. Hey 1 2. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Abi kameralarıyla alakalı bir şey ya. Hey hey hey hey. Hey hey sound check. Ses deneme. Sound check. Ses deneme kontrol. Hey 1 2. Sound check. Sound check. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Sound check. Sound check. Hey hey. Hey 1 2. Sound check. Ses deneme. Okey bitirelim.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take 2 more minutes before we start, but we encourage those of you, especially those of you that are for the first time at the IGF, to join us at the table, because it's more intimate and closer discussions. So please take the empty seats if you wish to sit with us. We just need 2 seats over there. Everything else is free to be filled. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. It's fantastic to have you here this morning for the orientation session. We are very delighted to see so many wonderful people in the room, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Veronica Crețu. I come from Moldova. I am a MAG member, and I've been involved with Internet Governance Forum ever since it was created. Today we are going to have, I hope, something that's going to be very interactive and dynamic session, co-moderated together by myself and Vladimir Radonovich, who will very shortly introduce himself. A couple of aspects that are very important related to this session. We have a hashtag for the Twitter. Those who are keen to tweet and use the social media, please do so. Orientation or newcomer, these are the two hashtags for the session. Those on Facebook, please also share through your Facebook account your impressions, questions, and views from the session. Also, a very important point, in the IGF, we really care about multilingualism, diversity, and creating the opportunity for people to express themselves in at least the official UN languages. So if during the session you would like to make an intervention in your language, you would be able to do so. We have translation provided. Otherwise, today, throughout the 1 hour and a half, we are going to discuss and share with you about a wide spectrum of issues related to internet governance, so that you have a broader, holistic picture of what IGF is all about. And in this journey of the session, we are going to be accompanied, joined by really distinguished colleagues, panelists, who have been around in the IG debate for many years now. Before we move ahead, I would like to ask Vladimir to quickly introduce himself. He's one of the co-moderators, so we should know who is Vlada.
Thank you, Veronica. Welcome, everyone. It's really a pleasure to see that many people. It's not that early now, but still, it's a good beginning of the IGF. My name is Vladimir Radonovich. I'm from Diplo Foundation, live in Serbia. I've been involved in the internet governance for quite some years, and IGF. And I'm also a member of the MAG, and that's one other acronym that we are going to go through throughout today's discussion. Veronica, off to you.
Thank you, Vladimir. Before we move ahead, I would really want to know how many of the people who are in the room are for the first time at the IGF. Please raise up your hands. Wow. Thank you very much. And those of you who are here for the first time, and by the way, there are microphones both around the table, and we have walking microphones. Those of you who are here in the room for the first time, we would really want to know, what is that something that motivated you to join the IGF, to attend the IGF, to come to the IGF? Any volunteers to share thoughts, 30 seconds, 1 minute maximum. What is that something that made you interested in the IGF this year? Mm-hmm.
Here comes the microphone.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy. My name is Sarah Ludford. Until May, I was for 15 years a member of the European Parliament. I'm now in the UK Parliament, and I was kindly invited to attend this by Nominate from the UK, and I seized the chance, and because as a legislator I was pretty involved on data protection legislation, the updating of in the European Parliament, and became more and more, more obvious implications for internet use, and really I'm trying to fill my ignorance, but I haven't actually met another parliamentarian yet here, and it seems to me there is a serious need for a cohort of parliamentarians to be involved in IGF.
Any more parliamentarians in the room? You're alone, seems like. Well, we'll work on that, I hope.
One more comment, one more reflection on the motivation that did drive you to the IGF this year. Any volunteers? Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Shafiq Shaya. I'm coming from Lebanon, Beirut. I'm from RIPE NCC. I used to be a member at RIPE NCC community working for the internet governance and multi-stakeholderism. It was so excited, so I joined recently RIPE NCC, and now I'm working in the Middle East region. And this region, we need to do a lot for this internet governance process. So I'm here to share with you the ideas and take your experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we are going to pick one more comment, one more reflection. Yes, gentlemen.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Yasser Al-Fakharani from Egypt. Of course, you know everything in our region, we suffer so much. We have a lot of problems with the internet and everything we suffer. The internet, especially the IGF systems and the multi-stakeholders, we need to know more about the internet governance and all these types of things. That's why I came here and want to learn. I want to know more. I want to share also and you know, have the views of all the participants about the internet governance and how we can improve them, especially in our region, which needs more and more for the future. Thanks indeed. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I see two gentlemen right here, right in front of us. Please, very, very quick and kindly introduce yourselves as well.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mustafa Kamaluddin from Bangladesh. Actually, we are encouraged to join this program because our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina declared that Bangladesh as Vision 2021 as digital Bangladesh. And actually at this moment we have 160 million people, and out of 160 million people, 110 million people are using mobile phones, and 5 million people using internet with internet connectivity, and 500,000 people using Facebook. And by 2021, we want to connect all the people of Bangladesh by Wi-Fi internet connectivity for encouraging everybody to establish BPO center and biometric data center everywhere in the rural level also. So we want to connect 160 million people by 2021 as digital people. And that's why we are encouraged to come here as how can we improve ourselves to build our nation in future as a digital nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's good to have ambitious dreams as developing countries, and thank you very much for joining us in this session and at the IGF, and I hope that you are going to find answers to those interesting questions for you so that you take them back home to Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Yes, and
yes, thank you very much. I'm also from Bangladesh. My name is Bikarna Ghosh. I am working with the government. I am here to convey my thanks and good wishes to all the people of Turkey and also other participants from my part and also from all the friendly people of Bangladesh. I am here to share my experiences, how internet or using internet, people, especially the civil servants, are providing better services to all their stakeholders. So especially the best practices here and all over the world, I'm very much keen to know how can I provide the best form of services to my people by using internet, especially the e-governance. Thank you very much.
thank you very much. You mentioned best practices. Indeed, we are going to touch upon this aspect, and thank you very much for mentioning it. And I will pick one more reflection here, the lady on the table.
Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Protsenko. I am from Kiev, Ukraine.
And here I am because we need to find very important answers. I hope that a lot of people here now knew what is happening in Ukraine, and we are thinking about wide implementation of e-democracy in Ukraine, but it is now not coordinated by the state. So this is the initiative from the bottom, from the society. And for us, it's important to find out how we can use this idea of multi-stakeholderism in making this public dialogue of how we can do this e-democracy with the help of the state, but not under the coordination of the state. So I really hope that I could find these answers here. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I think the whole world is watching and knows exactly what's happening in Ukraine. And indeed, it's important to be part of this debate so you could bring the different perspectives and different views back home. Thank you all for these reflections. I see a very desperate gentleman there in the back. He keeps raising up the hand. This is really the last comment for this part of the session, and then we move ahead with. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Banda from Malawi. Basically, Malawi, we just launched the IGF in July this year. My coming mainly was just to experience and learn more, and especially how best we can apply at home in Malawi. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. These are very valuable reflections for us. It's important to know what is that something that drives the interest towards IGF, what is that something that interests and motivates you to come and participate. Vlada, emerging or issues that we address at IGF, why IGF is important. I think these are some of the starting points for us to start exploring and building on.
Well, I think that's the point of this session. So the reason why we try to put up the whole session, and it's, I think, the second year in similar format and we are still improving, is exactly that, to try to bring everyone who is newcomer to the IGF to the idea, what is IGF? What problem does it solve? Does it solve any problems? What is the point of it? And as all of you were very eager to talk, and that's the point of the IGF. In the next 5 days, please don't be shy to jump in any session that you will be at, because that's the point, to discuss and share the opinions. Now that's one point to discuss today, this morning. Why do we need the IGF? So we'll run quickly through the mandate of the IGF and what we can expect politically from the IGF. The second thing is, I remember when I came to the first IGF, and it was really the first IGF in Athens in 2006, there was a space not as big as this one, but it was also scattered around. And I had quite the trouble to run around and find where to go. And this is the list of sessions that you can see over there. I'm sure you've gone through that. And I'm sure many of you were confused. Like there are, I think, over 100 workshops, and there is a number of plenary sessions and flash sessions and round tables and many other things. So which session should you follow? How do you interact? How do you jump in? Can you ask for a floor? How does it work? That's one of the ideas. The third part of the session, we'll try to go through how to stay involved, because we do hope that you are going to show up next year as well, whether in situ, hopefully in Brazil, or remotely. That's also a very valuable option. So that's what the idea of the session is. We'll try to link. There is a number of people with us today who are the members of the advisory committee, experienced, other friends experienced with the IGF. We'll try to bring their experiences closer to you, and of course I'll allow you to put up the questions that you might have about dilemmas. Now the first thing maybe to start with is, how did we end up here? Istanbul is a nice city, and UN has a great habit of moving the IGF around the world, so in that sense of a cultural enrichment, that's a good, nice thing. But how did we come up to the IGF and why IGF is here? And Jovan Kurbale is there with us today. He was from the beginning of the WSIS, which is, and you will notice all these acronyms and abbreviations which we use. WSIS, the World Summit on Information Society. He was the member of the WGAG, the working group on internet governance, which basically tried to define what internet governance is back then and why we should have IGF. So Jovan, why are we here? How did we come from Tunis, from the World Summit, to Istanbul this year. Why do we need the IGF?
Well, good morning, everybody. I can tell you, Vlad, a few reasons why I'm here, and definitely to rediscover this lovely city. And probably it is the right place to host the IGF, because this is a city of bridges. This is a metaphor of Istanbul. Not only geographical one between Asia and Europe, but between different cultures, between different societal issues. And when you see the history of this city, you can see that people have been trying to bridge different divides. And this is underlying message that this place with its spirit carries. And I think it's the right place for hosting internet governance discussion on this point, because we have quite a few divides that we have to bridge. Now, what is the ancient history of Internet Governance Forum? If we go, we may start in the 60s when the engineers created the internet. And what was very interesting, and I'm sure that there are quite a few engineers and there is debate on it, but the internet was created to connect computers, not people, initially. And then people discovered that they can communicate. And this probably, like for Istanbul, the metaphor is a bridge. For internet is discovery. People were discovering new possibilities to send email, to chat, later on with the web, till today with the Skype, e-learning and other things. When they started moving, they needed to create some sort of governance, not governance at that time, management of the internet. They have to create address book, which is today's domain name system. It was a small community, mainly at the US universities. They managed it easily in 60s, 70s, and later on, with the growth of the internet, there was increasing need to have more robust governance. And in the 90s, US government, the guardian of this early development of the internet, decided to privatize or to change the nature of that early community and to ultimately create ICANN. And this is when the issue of internet governance in the 90s started moving more from technical, small community towards more political discussion. Then governments realized that there is something important going on. And in the at the beginning of the century, exactly in the 1998 at the Minneapolis ITU meeting, they said, okay, we need a summit on ICT. And if you can recall, at that time there were big summits, starting with the Rio summit in 1992 on the climate change, on the housing, on human rights, on the gender issues. There was a whole series of the big UN summits, which was the idea that you raise the issue by bringing people together and you make some sort of policy adrenaline shock, and then people start discussing the issue. VSIS came in 2003. The preparatory process started in 2002. The first World Summit on Information Society was held in 2003 in Geneva. Internet governance didn't exist at that time prominently in the discussion. And it was a bit strange. You know, you come to the meeting discussing ICT, but you don't have any mentioning on the, even at one meeting, even mentioning the word internet. Preparatory meeting in Bucharest, we analyzed the text of the final declaration. There was no single reference to the internet. And everybody was discussing the internet, obviously. Therefore, in 2005, at the second leg of the VSIS was hosted in Geneva 2003 and 2005. Governments, civil society, technical community, and business discussed the conclusions on the working group on internet governance, and they decided to establish the Internet Governance Forum. Politically speaking, Internet Governance Forum came as a compromise, and we always call it Tunis Compromise. On one side, you had the non-governmental actors wanting to keep the non-governmental governance of the internet. On the other side, you had governments who wanted to have more say and more role of the UN. Therefore, compromise was made that Internet Governance Forum was established under the UN umbrella. Therefore, UN Secretary General is conveying the Internet Governance Forum, while in its nature, it's a multi-stakeholder, as you will discover over the next 4 days. That was some sort of Tunis compromise, which launched the Internet Governance Forum. Today in Istanbul, we have the 9th edition of Internet Governance Forum, And I can tell you it has been a great experience. It has been a great learning experience. It has been a great discovery experience. And sometimes you have, on multi-stakeholder issue, you have ideological discussion. But what I always say is that this approach is enormously powerful because it brings learning. It's a practical. It connects issues, people, gives people idea how to address different issues. Yes, it is not negotiations forum. It doesn't have the, so far, the final communication or decision, although it is discussed currently. But that bazaar element, I will introduce the second metaphor related to Istanbul. That bazaar element is extremely powerful. You have a people meeting, discussing, exchanging, getting out of their silos. You know, when you go to ITF or when you go to the UN meetings in Geneva, people are always in their silos. They spend the time discussing the specific issue. Here, you have this bazaar element. Now, after 10 years, and I'll just give you one-time context. When the IGF was established, Facebook and Twitter didn't exist. Now we have completely different ICT and internet world. And the IGF is in the soul searching, trying to address these new needs in the policy space and continue this discovery road with addressing some important public policy issues which are coming more and more into the focus on the global world. I hope I have managed to make a sort of tour the horizon. Therefore, 3 metaphors are for Istanbul, bridge and bazaar, and for IGF, discovery. Thank you, brother.
Now, that means that the IGF is not a decision-making body. It means that it's just about discussion. Does it make sense? I mean, does it make sense in diplomatic circles for the governments? Why do we need a body which is not a decision-making? What's the merit? How would you put it?
We can call it decision-shaping body, because quite a few decisions which discuss the IGF later on go their life in the various decision-making bodies. In professional organization, ITF and other bodies, or the intergovernmental. And this is a real question, and I'm based in Geneva. We try to bridge another divide between internet and diplomacy, which is getting smaller and smaller. But then diplomats, when we discuss IGF, they ask common sense question. We have to convince our governments to send us to the IGF. And one of the most difficult part of convincing the headquarters of governments is that they cannot explain what would be the outcome of the meeting. And this is one of the realistic challenges for the IGF. And we shouldn't underestimate concerns of different stakeholders. Sometimes these concerns are easily dismissed, but this is a real concern for officials, that they have to go back to their country and to write some report or to present something. Therefore, the question of the outcome, probably without decision-making process or some sort of innovative decision-making process, is the issue that should be discussed in this soul-searching phase for the Internet Governance Forum.
It's a very good thing that you mentioned is the soul-searching, in the sense of the IGF has been changing throughout the years. And it has a mandate from the World Summit on Information Society, from the Tunis Agenda, and it has set up the Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group, the MAG, so-called MAG. You hear it around. And I think around this table there is quite a number of people which are members of the MAG. But for the past couple of years there have been changes introduced through the MAG, and MAG is really a multi-stakeholder composed body. It has an equal number of representatives of government, civil society, corporate sector, technical community, and so on. And one of the things that have been changing in the recent years, because the internet governance is coming on the top of the, well, political and diplomatic agenda as well, is trying to come up closer to tangible outcomes or tangible outputs of the IGF, as we used to put it. And we'll talk later on a little bit about the best practices as one of these. So there are certain things that governments, private sector, civil society can take away, especially governments who really need to have some takeaway. But we're trying still to shape it what is the takeaway of the governments. Now, Raul Echeverria was from the beginning also in the IGF process. Raul, how would you put the merits of the IGF and even the mandate?
Thank you, Vladimir. I wanted to make a point about the takeaways. I think that it's very interesting, in fact, very illustrative what the dialogue between you and Jovan. But I think that's this is the place, IGF is the place where we set the international agenda on internet governance. So despite of the fact that we don't take decisions here, I think that the things that are discussed here influence many things, influence things that are happening in other environments, other forums, other intergovernmental organizations, the donors, organizations that give money for funding projects, in many cases come here, and when they leave the IGF, they have an idea about what are the priorities for the year. So I think that the discussions in IGF are very important and influence a lot of things. But so this is one of the important takeaways in my view. But the other thing is that some people expect the IGF to be more influent in the policy making. And I think that the work that is being done this year with regard to the best practices is very good, and it's a good step forward in having more concrete outcomes. But don't forget that maybe 90–95% of the policy making happen at the national level. So the IGF by itself will never have a full impact in the policy making around the world. What is important is, and I think that this is the feeling of many people here, and you will hear this expression a lot in this week, is that we need to work more in developing national experiences like IGF. So this will be really the biggest step forward. If when we come to the IGF, we have very good discussions, and we feel that we have very good things in our hands when we go out from IGF. So what we need is IGF-like models at the national level where we can go and bring all the things that we capture in IGF for discussion and how to adapt, how to influence the policy making at the local level. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. Two excellent points. One is, on the global level, IGF is the agenda-setting mechanism, right, about the internet, and the other one is the other layers, not just the global layer. And we have the levels on national, regional levels, and we are going to talk about what are the opportunities and what exists when we talk about how we can continue being involved in the IGF afterwards. Now, I'm just curious, we have a couple of people here from different stakeholders, and this model of multi-stakeholderism, and that's probably maybe the third component that the IGF contributes a lot, is changing the understanding of how the internet policy should be dealt with, bringing the multi-stakeholder dialogue, and what are the roles of different stakeholders in this dialogue. And we always recall what the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan at that time said, that with finding the mechanisms, I'm paraphrasing, finding the mechanisms for governing the internet, we should be equally creative as those that created the internet. So that's where the multi-stakeholderism came as a kind of the upgrade of the current system where internet can fit best. Now, Tovela is with us. She's from Nepal. And Tovela, how do you see this interplay of stakeholders? Why is multi-stakeholderism, or why is the role of other stakeholders, not just governments, very important in this process?
Thank you very much, Flora. I think that when we look at the IGF and we look at internet public policy, the issue of multi-stakeholderism becomes important because, as we all know, the internet affects our everyday life. I mean, it's something that has permeated and continues to permeate everything that we do. And so it is very important that we're able to create a space and a platform where we can actually listen to each other, where we can actually exchange views and give everybody that opportunity to actually express the concerns that they have, express the views that they have around certain issues, and through that dialoguing, begin to maybe also arrive at points of agreement and points of disagreement as well. I think that in as much as we talk about the IGF being a place where we dialogue and we don't make decisions, I think there is value in being able to have a space like that, a space where you can actually come and express your views, hear the views of others, and not feel bound to any decision that is taken. Rather, you are able to take those discussions back with you and use them in whatever way you feel that they are beneficial to you to actually shape the processes within your own context. So I think it is, for me, a valuable space to have because it allows you to have that opportunity where you are there on an equal footing, regardless of whether you're government, private sector, civil society, technical. You have that opportunity to hear and to be heard.
Thank you, Tuvela. Okay, we know that on the national level, it's still mostly the governments that are bringing decisions, right? On international level, we have a number of institutions which are dealing with different issues, UNESCO, ITU, ICANN, and so on. But civil society, corporate sector, technical community is also very relevant in this discussion. Subi, you're coming from civil society. Do you have the impression that someone hears you here at the IGF?
Thank you, Vlada. Good morning, everyone. My name is Subi Chaturvedi, and I'm a member of the MAG. I represent two stakeholder communities, media and civil society. From a country like India, emerging economy, developing countries, underrepresented community groups and stakeholders, I think the IGF has great value and great merit. 2012, the IGF at Baku was my first IGF. I'm yet to see a space which is more bottom-up, transparent, and inclusive, and gives you the opportunity to communicate, learn, engage, inform, grow, collaborate, and grow with each other. In terms of policy making, when you come to this space, and Vlada and my colleagues on the MAG and everyone here is absolutely right, a lot of issues relating to access, local content creation, dissemination, internet as an enabler of human rights, decision-making happens at the national level. But this is the space where it is also a safe space. I am yet to see a space where you will have governments queuing up behind civil society. You will have private sector, technical community engaging with each other in free conversations. So a lot of people have said that the IGF needs to step back, reflect, introspect, and next year in Brazil, and I hope to see all of you there, is going to be the 10th edition of the IGF. We are very close to the renewal of the mandate, and this is also the time when the community is asking more of the IGF, and rightly so, because this has been a space where you've been able to initiate ideas and conversations how to make sure that the internet retains its core values, which is interoperability, an enabler of human rights, connecting universal conversations. So does anyone listen to us? I think yes. When governments come in here, and I agree with the lady here from UK, thank you for making the time and joining us. We need to see more of them here, but it's not that decision making doesn't happen, so there is no value in being here at the IGF. I think it's very important, this kind of engagement and conversation tends to multiply, has a ripple effect, and when you go back and you take a decision which is not in consonance with what the world is asking of you, it's difficult without doing it through public consultation. And the process here at the IGF is equally important, if not more, than outcomes. So I believe we're being heard. I believe that our inputs are being taken into consideration. There is a lot more that we can do. And a huge welcome to all the newcomers who are here for the first time. You will see great merit, and I believe you will take away the same warmth, energy, and ideas to make sure that your national initiatives fructify and go to the next level. Conversations on internet and IG will be heard, and it's up to us to take it from our stage at an individual level, from our Facebook pages and Twitter handles, and replicate these conversations. I will make my substantive intervention on the best practice for us later in this segment, but we're listening. So thank you for being here and engaging with us.
Thank you, Subi. It's really motivating. I even found myself motivated again.
I'm so glad.
As you will see, it's a little bit more complicated to put into practice because of the schedule, which is very complicated. But there are many, many ways, and we'll go through that. Before that, and before we open the floor, we had, what was it, Latin America, Africa, Asia, Europe.
Thank you, Vlada. Before we move to the questions from the floor, I just wanted to make a point on the value, probably the value of the multi-stakeholder model. From my perspective, I think this is an exercise which is not easy for the stakeholders that are part of it. This is getting out of the comfort zone. And believe me, there are several stakeholders engaged in this debate that feel uncomfortable of being part of going out of their comfort zone, which requires more openness, more transparency, more inclusiveness, more participation, more accountability, if you want. And this is very relevant, especially for countries with young democracies like Moldova, part of Eastern Europe, and we heard a colleague from Ukraine mentioning the importance of bringing and infusing these models, if you want, at the national level. Because this is something that is going to change, or that is going to become a new paradigm, a new way, a new model of designing policies, regardless related to internet or other sectors. So that's why I think that within the IGF we are seeing how this model is working in practice, what are the pitfalls, what are the successes, and from the model itself, we can take the lessons and we can see what can really work out well, both in regards to the ICT or internet-related policies or other sectors, as I mentioned. We'll take some questions from the floor, as Vlada mentioned, up to 3 questions, formulated, designed in line with the issues we have been addressing till this very moment. So if there are any questions from the floor, we are more than happy to take them. I see a gentleman over here. And please kindly introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, my name is Tariq Mirkani from ISOC Sudan, Internet Society Sudan. So I am from civil society field. I just want to talk about the future of the IGF. We all know that the mandate will, what will happen after 2016. And will it be a new shape of the IGF? Will we go just talking, discussing? Will there be recommendations or go more deeper on policy making? We all know that there is a lot of things happening today, like what's going in EAN accountability. Now they are talking about even ICANN accountability. So what's the idea of the IGF? Will it go like this, or there will be a new shape and we will go deeper on policy making? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we are going to take the other 2 questions and then we are going to reflect on them. Anyone else? Any other question? Yes, please, and kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Mr. Araste. I'm talking in personal capacity. Do you have a bilan of what you have made during the last 9 years? Have you have a bilan, something to present what you have done during the last 9 years? Next year, some question to the gentleman from Sudan in General Assembly of United Nations, they will decide on the future of IGF. What you present as a result of 9 years of work, have you achieved the objectives, which is in paragraph 72 to 78? To what extent you have achieved that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one more question.
Thanks indeed. I'm Yasser Al-Fakhrani again from Egypt. I'm asking about a mechanism or a certain way through which the states or the nations of the world should comply with the internet governance systems. Thanks indeed. Thank you. How to oblige the countries or order them to comply with the internet governance? A mechanism. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Now, if we were in any other forum, we would probably say, okay, now we are turning to the next part in the agenda. But the questions are really hot and tough. I was looking around who's going to take the hot potatoes that you put, but there are a couple of people who are ready. So I'll start on my left with Sui, and then we'll go to Raul and Jovan, and I don't know if any one of the others want to respond from the table, but Sui, briefly.
Very briefly, thank you for those thought-provoking questions. I think they go to the heart of the matter. So here's a small plug. On Thursday, which is day 3, on the 4th of September, right here in the morning, same time, we're going to be doing a session which is looking at IGF, the evolving internet ecosystem, the way forward for IGF, and how is it that you can strengthen the IGF. It's a fantastic panel of speakers. We intend to keep the session interactive, and we're looking at ideas, problems, opportunities, challenges, and solutions. So I invite all of you to be there. Some of these answers will come through, but these are important questions, and I don't want to make light of this opportunity. As far as what is it that we have achieved, the chair of the MAG, Ambassador Yanis Coughlins, put out a call this year asking the entire stakeholder group and the entire IG community to come back to us with learnings and experiences about what is it that they managed to translate from the IGF at their national, regional, and local level. Was it of some value? Did it bring about some change in internet governance? That report is going to be shared during the course of this week. I think those are the most important lessons that we can take away from here. In terms of what we have achieved, Ricardo is on my right, and he has been at the core of leading the national and regional IGF initiatives. There are about 40 currently, and if you log on to the website, you'll find a dedicated page. There are only 3 parameters for starting a national or a regional initiative. You must have a website. It must be multi-stakeholder with at least 3 stakeholder communities: private sector, industry, governments, media, academia, technical community. Any 3 people together can start an initiative at a national, regional level. And third, most importantly, you must be able to publish a report. I think to be able to give a leg up to national and local initiatives where governments come to the table and sit with other communities is a fantastic achievement that the IGF has been able to inspire. But I do agree we need to link up and link down better with these initiatives so that we can feed into each other and take away from there. As far as the last point in my short intervention, can there be a mechanism for internet governance? Well, the internet is unique because it was created outside mechanisms and systems. So we'd like to see less governments and less governance so that permissionless innovation and core values of the internet can flourish and organically grow. But I do recognize that there is a lead to address issues because the same human rights that exist offline must be able to exist online, and we need to get governments who will legislate and create these policies to come together and understand this medium better that we all love and cherish. So I think there'll have to be unique solutions across verticals and across horizontals that'll have to come locally. And this is what we want to do, create best practices so that people can take them away and move these initiatives along at their local levels. Thank you.
Thank you, Subi. A very brief reflection to this question about the IG mechanisms on a national level. Exactly, there is no one-size-fits-all. That's the experience we have from all these years. Even if you go through the regional internet governance forums like European Eurodig or Arab IGF or African IGF, you'll see Asia-Pacific, Latin America, Caribbean IGF, you will see very different modalities how they work. And it really fits to the culture, fits to the shape of the, the simply specific aspects of the area. So it's something that, as Subi said, needs to go through the probably best practices or sharing the experiences how to build on regional and national level. I won't touch upon the second two questions, they're too hot, so I leave it to Raul to start with what can we present out of the 9 years of IGF? What did we really achieve?
I think that I didn't introduce myself last time. So my name is Raúl Echeverría. I'm Vice President for Global Engagement in Internet Society. And I have served in the MAG for many years until February this year, from the beginning of IGF. I think that the IGF exceeded the expectations that probably could have existed 10 years ago. But it's difficult. The question is very interesting because I don't think it is easy to measure the impact of IGF, because the IGF itself has evolved very much and is very useful as a place for discussions and meeting with everybody else. I remember that 2006, when we held the first IGF in Athens, I was arriving to the venue, so there were some governments asking what was the place reserved for governmental delegations. And the other thing that I remember is that I met people that were very active in the governmental sector, people very active in the internet technical community, people very active in civil society, and they didn't know each other. I was very surprised. I remember having asked something, how do you know each other? You don't know each other. If both of you are everywhere, but they were not everywhere together. They were in different circles, working in different circles. So I think that now we have a meeting that is attended by 3,000 people. There are a lot of workshops discussing very interesting topics, main sessions, but we have a lot of exchange between individuals that belong to different stakeholders. And the impact of IGF go much beyond IGF itself, because now we know each other and we have good relations with all the stakeholders. I think that the Net Mundial was an example of the maturity of the relation among stakeholders. And it means that we take advantage of the relations that we have built through IGF for doing more collaborative work in many other places, even at the national level, but not only at the national level, also in other environments. So when we go to ITU or UNESCO or WIPO for discussing other things, or ICANN, or we meet with people that belong to other stakeholder groups, and we continue working together because we know each other and we have developed the habit of working together, and this was thanks to IGF. So I think that the impact of IGF goes much beyond the IGF itself, but the IGF itself has been very successful and have exceeded broadly the expectations. I think that's when we created the IGF, the only expectation was to have a place for having some simple discussions. In fact, if you remember, we avoided to discuss critical internet resources in the first IGF in 2006 because we were not looking for having discussions in controversial topics. And now, there is no topic that cannot be discussed here. It was very difficult to introduce the perspective of human rights in the agenda. last year we had a special sessions for dealing with internet surveillance issues, the most controversial topic of 2013. And it was the first place, IGF was the first place where different stakeholders, including governments and including the United States government, met for having an open discussion on that issue. Of course, I think that it is difficult that everybody get satisfied with the results of the discussion because there are different positions, different views, but this is part of the game. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. And before I give floor to Jovan for a final comment on this part, memorize throughout the IGF what are the achievements of the IGF that you can feel, and share it with the others, because that's really something. Measuring the effects of the IGF is probably one of the biggest challenges, because there are no documents coming out of it. There are a lot of achievements that we can notice on national, global level, but it's hard to measure that. So keep notes and share share around you. Jovan, one last final comment, and introduce yourself, because I forgot to introduce Raul and you before.
You see, Vlada works for Diplo Foundation, and he forgot such important information. I'm joking. My name, I'm Jovan Kurbali. I'm director of Diplo Foundation and head of Geneva Internet Platform. And I like Vlada's last comment. I think perception, well, it's ultimately individual. We tend to extend our perception to our group, nation, whatever. And I will tell you what is my perception of Internet Governance Forum. When I started in 2004, 10 years ago, at the working group on internet governance, I asked 40 members of the WGIG one question. Can you explain what are you doing at the WGIG to your cousin, relative, partner, wife, children? And 4 of them raised their hands. I was among those who couldn't explain what we were doing. When I was mentioning it to people what I was doing, they were calling me to fix their printer, to install software. You're doing something with computers. Now, 10 years later, there is a huge evolution. And I think we tend to overestimate what can be done in a short time period. It's very human. And underestimate what can be done in longer period. And when you see this perspective of the almost 10 years with WGIG, VSIS, and IGF, you can notice the huge progress in raising awareness, in raising understanding, in developing this, what Raul mentioned, trust and empathy among different players, that they can engage with the other side and the other side can understand what are their priorities. And I think we underestimate that. And for this human aspect, social aspect of IGF, we need time. It cannot be fixed as a technical solution quickly. And this is, in my view, the major achievement. It's like sediments with the river. Every year you have an additional layer of the understanding. Now, IGF is in the soul-searching phase. This is the other question. And there is now a real question, what is the next step? For me, the key challenge is how we keep this great legacy of the IGF and add the layer which will address real or perceived concerns of some players, that there is no place where some sort of decision-making on the global level will be made. And I insist, real or perceived needs. And in global affairs, it's not only reality, it's also a question of perception. Therefore, that element of the smart evolution, where we'll preserve in an innovative way this great legacy of IGF as awareness building, great bazaar, and add some sort of element of, well, cathedral in inverted commas, you know, famous metaphor of cathedral and bazaar. That sort of is the main challenge for the IGF, how to make that balance right between decision shaping space and some sort of place where the various stakeholders could address their needs and make some sort of recommendation or some sort of forward-looking guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you, Jovan, very much. And it's indeed interesting, this concept of bazaars and, you know, the way it fits into the multi-stakeholder approach. Again, it's a zone where you have to get into, and this is not a very, very easy and very comfortable exercise. Just a brief comment on the value, on the results of the IGF from what I've seen back home in my country was the fact that if in 2005, 2006, whenever I would approach a government representative to discuss about internet governance, they would perceive it as something being e-governance, something that was on the agenda of the government at that point in time. These days, if you go and you discuss with them, everything is clear, the agenda is very clear, and I think this has been also due to their exposure to the discussions around internet governance and bringing governmental representatives to the IGF itself. I think the more people from governments we are going to have in the upcoming years, the better results we are going to have back home. Now it's time to clarify a little bit how do we manage ourselves throughout this IGF. This is day one, and as you see on the screen, there are several workshops, different colors, different codes if you want, timings, and so on and so forth, and it's really a huge space. And we would like to ask Nicolas, who is from the IGF Secretariat, to give us a brief overview, some tips how to manage, how to handle yourselves better during these upcoming days. Nicolas, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. My name is Nick D'Agostino, and I'm with the IGF Secretariat, and actually this is my first IGF as well, so it's good. This will be good, yeah. So on the screen we have the one version of the format of the schedule, which you can see all the various types of sessions that you can go to and the rooms that they're in and at a certain time. So we also have a different version of the schedule, which I'll go into later, but just to start, we have basically, we have various types of sessions here. We have workshops, we have open forums, we have dynamic coalition meetings, we have best practice forums, main sessions, and it could be a little confusing. So we've color coordinated in the schedule that you see here, depending on the various types of sessions, so you know which one is which. An example of the one that's on the screen right now is the green indicates the open forum. So open forums are sessions by major organizations and institutions that are wanting to discuss their activities over the last year. So later on at around 11 o'clock, there's a ICANN Governmental Advisory Committee open forum, which is in workshop room 4. There are also workshops. So the workshops are arranged in various sub-themes, which are also indicated at the bottom of this particular schedule of the different color coordination. At the IGF this year, we have 8 sub-themes. Internet as an engine of growth and development, policies enabling access, internet and human rights. They're all available. They'll show at the bottom of the schedule as well as the program paper, and as well on our schedule, which is the alternative schedule. Which, if we were able to pull it up, that would be great. But okay, so if you are looking to make your own personalized schedule for the event, you can go onto our interactive schedule, and that's available at the website igf2014.intgovforum.org. Alternatively, you can use igf2014.schedge.org. And this is a fantastic tool that we're using for the first time this year, where you can track the various sessions, sub-themes, workshops, speaker bios for the various sessions are also all available on this with their photos and bios. You can track sessions by various hashtags or themes, and it also tell you exactly where it's happening, more information on it, the description, the agenda of the events, and that sort of thing. There is as well, we have main sessions occurring on all of the days. Starting tomorrow, we have a main session on, it's called Policies Enabling Access, Growth and Development on the Internet, and that's happening in this room here. And we have 10 other workshop rooms, which include the other workshop rooms, as well as the other workshop sessions, as well as the dynamic coalition sessions and the open forum sessions. So if you have any other questions, I'm very happy to answer. There's a lot of sessions, there's a lot of sub-themes, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of speakers, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. And if there are any immediate practical questions, one or two, please raise up your. Yes, please.
Thank you. I just got this paper. Part of it is shaded. I can't read what is between some sides because it is on color. When it is on the black and white, you can't see that. Why not you produce something like ICANN? They have a small booklet without any color, without any shading, give you where you can go. It is impractical. I'm not criticizing anybody, but it is not. I have to ask, what is this? And somebody look at that, that is this one. But please do something practical. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you very much. Criticism is taken, feedback is taken. I think there are different ways now to handle, follow what Nicolas suggested, do the personalized agenda online. There is a tendency to be as digital as possible, and everyone is using different gadgets, but still. Subi, you wanted to comment on this, or no? Okay. Any other practical question?
Thank you. As I said, I am from Bangladesh. People of 160 million, developing nation. As the people, most of the people are poor, and they're struggling for the improvement of their life. And the government is trying to provide internet to different stakeholders. And as we are not the manufacturer, so we need to import or procure from the developed countries. So most of the government institutions are at moment with internet connection. That is, all are imported from outside. Next stage is to provide internet for the common people. And first is for the educational institution that includes a huge investment. All money are coming from the poor people, 160 million people. So I guess, if I'm not wrong, like Bangladesh, most of the African countries, some of the Asian countries, have become the market of industrialized nations. I mean, the resource of the poor people are being drained to the higher end. That's the reality. So I am here from the government and also from the poor people of Bangladesh, how the drainage of money, resources, could be stopped, or at least the rate can be decreased. And on the other side, how the industrialized people and industrialized governments can help the poor nations for providing internet to the poor people of the developing nations. To find out a way, I'm here. Can anybody answer me? Okay, please.
Well, the question is definitely very substantial, and I think you're at the right place at the IGF. I don't think anyone here can respond, at least not within the next 10 minutes. But what I would definitely encourage you is to search for the sessions that are linked to the topic, and especially the tomorrow morning, I think, which has the connection with that. Enabling access, right, tomorrow morning. Yeah, so in this main room, that will be one of the sessions. And what I definitely encourage you to do is to be active. That means take a microphone as you did now, ask the question and share your experiences, because that's the point. Don't just let the people talk on the panel. That's one thing. The other thing is, remember the faces of people, especially from, you will find a lot of people from the internet industry, including the Silicon Valley and US internet industry here, high-level ones as well. Do approach them, or anyone else, to share the experiences, to discuss. That's, I think, my own experience of the merit of the IGF as well. I didn't respond to your direct question, but I hope I helped you map where you can find the response. But please do approach us later on as well, and we can try to help you where to go, on who to ask more about that. One of the good things that we have new this year is the Best Practices Forum, and Subi mentioned it earlier. This is for the first time that we have very focused discussions on a couple of topics on best practices. Subi, very briefly, what do we have this year?
Thank you for that question, and I agree that's an important question, and we will attempt at creating some responses in what is it that can be done at the IGF. So a lot of you are here, and the global community on internet governance has been asking for a long time, what about tangible outcomes from the IGF? What is it that we can take away, and what are concrete deliverables that we can take home? In response to that call, earlier this year when some of us members from the MAG, I am Subi Chaturvedi and I come from India. For us, a lot of us, issues about internet governance are complex, they're nuanced, and we need problems to be solved. So talk has value, and coming here and discussing and engaging in a dialogue has tremendous value. But we wanted to know what is it that we can go back home, replicate, and deal with issues and solutions. So from community input, the MAG this year identified 5 key themes, and I'll walk you through those. The first was developing meaningful multi-stakeholder participation mechanisms. How is it that people who are not in the room, people whose voices are left out, can also engage in IG? Second theme was about regulation and mitigation of unwanted communications, spam. How do you deal with that? Establishing and supporting computer emergency response teams, or CERTs, for internet security, which is a real challenge, a real issue. And creating, the next 4th theme was about creating an enabling environment for the development of local content. A lot of us are taking to the internet, and the next 2 billion users are likely to come in from Asia, India, China, a lot of developing countries. But one of the biggest impediments has been the availability of local content and its dissemination. How do we get to do that better? And the last and really important theme is best practices for online child protection. Are people who will follow us into the future. How do we make sure that we keep our end users safe? And a lot of them are young, they're digital natives, but we're also trying to create a community which is responsible and responsive. So this process was initiated, a call was put out, these teams were identified, and then a group of experts was identified for every theme. This has been participatory, it has been bottom-up, it has been as transparent and as inclusive as possible. The links are up on the IGF website, so if you look for the best practice forums on the Internet Governance Forum website, you will come to a page that talks about all these themes. There are going to be 5 90-minute sessions which will feed into one main session, which is on day 3 on the 4th of September on Thursday at 2:30 till 4 o'clock in the evening right here in this hall. I urge all of you to join in. Additionally, there's a draft that has been put out which is available online, which is requesting everybody to comment and engage with that draft. The comments are open till the 5th of September so that this can be finally presented in the taking stock and closing session. So what we wanted to do is make sure that we identify problems, issues, and challenges, convert them into opportunities, and take back solutions which are mapped to these problems. And they're real problems, they're real issues. So that is what the Best Practice Forum has been able to do. And I think this is a response also to the Tunis agenda that talks about bringing in more developing country perspective, being more inclusive, and actually responding to solutions. I would be happy to respond to any questions that anyone might have. ISOC and some members of the MAG have been able to devote time, effort, and energy to put this together. So these are some of the key themes. Any questions related to the best practice forums can be sent at questions@internetgovforum.org, and you will also find a community section on the website where you can look at all these key themes and post your comments. I urge all of you to please respond to the draft and engage with it. Thank you for your time, and I'd be happy to take questions or comments from the floor.
Thank you, Subi. Of course, you can memorize her and just chase her afterwards for any further questions. Do that. I encourage you. This is one of the innovations of this IGF, but besides talking about practices, the IGF is a place, as previously we heard from Raul, kind of an agenda setting. And this is the place where you can really talk about any aspect of internet governance, including the process. We heard that on, I think, day 4 or day 3 morning, we will have a main session on the future of IGF and the IGF IG processes. But we also had discussions. Yesterday there was a full day, a pre-event on Net Mundial. What were the achievements of Net Mundial? Will it follow up with Net Mundial initiative? What is the possible relation with IGF and so on? There is another track which is highly important and relevant for many of you, and it's the ICANN and IANA process, linked to the top-level domains and the transition, accountability of ICANN and transition of IANA in particular after the updates or the call from the US government that it's going to relinquish the control over IANA, so to speak. Now we have Alicia with us. Yeah. Sorry, Subi wanted to jump in briefly.
Thank you. On the screen, you will see the best practice forums highlighted in red or coral. There's a red dot, the IGF schedule that Nicholas just shared. You can look at tags that identify these forums. Also, Constance Baumler from ISOC, you will see her here. Any questions, any comments, feel free to come to any of us. We'd be happy to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Subi. So, also talking about the IANA transition, and we have Alicia with us, who is going to give us a very brief update on what's happening with on this IGF, where you can hear more about IANA and what are the recent updates.
Thank you very much. So I think people have heard a little bit about the IANA transition, but just to level set, since 1998, the U.S. National Telecommunications and Information Administration, otherwise known as NTIA, has contracted with ICANN to perform some key administrative functions for the Internet. Earlier this year, the United States government announced its intention to transition the stewardship of those functions to the global multi-stakeholder community. And those functions are known as the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, or IANA functions. The US government asked ICANN to convene global stakeholders to develop a transition proposal. And ICANN, in turn, has created or initiated the creation of the IANA Stewardship Transition Coordination Group, otherwise known as the ICG. The ICG consists of 30 members and 2 liaisons who were appointed by a variety of constituencies, including internet users, businesses, and operational communities related to domain names, numbering resources such as IP addresses, and the parameters used by internet protocols. I am the chair of the ICG, and most of the ICG members are here in attendance this week. The ICG will have its own face-to-face meeting on Saturday, which will be streamed live on the internet, but will not have public attendance. But we're mostly here all this week to engage with the community as well. The ICG's mandate is to deliver a proposal for the IANA stewardship transition to NTIA. The group's charter outlines the process that will be used for this proposal development. The ICG will solicit proposals from the operational communities concerning their respective IANA functions. The coordination group will, hopefully by the end of today, publish a request for proposals that can be used for this purpose. The RFP requests that the operational communities consult broadly with all interested parties, and the expectation of the ICG is that all interested parties will become involved early on in those community processes. For example, the 5 regional internet registries have already begun their processes to develop transition proposals for internet numbering. There's a cross-community working group within the ICANN framework that is in the process of being formalized to discuss the transition of the domain names. And the Internet Engineering Task Force is creating a working group to discuss protocol parameters and the oversight transition there. These community processes are where the bulk of the transition proposal work will be done. And if you want to participate, all of these processes are open to you, and they're all being launched right now. The ICG is further chartered to solicit input from stakeholders broadly, to assess the compatibility of the proposals that we receive from the operational communities, to serve as a central clearinghouse for public information about the IANA stewardship transition, and to assemble and submit the final proposal to NTIA. The target deadline for the ICG to receive proposals from the operational communities is December 31st, after which the group will move on to assess, assemble, seek broad public input, and finally compile and submit a proposal to NTIA. The current contract between ICANN and NTIA expires on September 30th, 2015. If you want to learn more about the ICG and about the IANA stewardship transition and how you can get involved in particular, you can visit ianacg.org, ianacg.org. You can come talk to me, you can come talk to any of the ICG members who are here this week, and the full membership list is on the website. You can also come to the main session, which will be held in this room on Friday morning at 9:30. And in that session will be discussed both the transition and the related process of ICANN accountability, which is ongoing. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, and I hope that these suggestions, tips, and encouragement for participation in this particular discussions have been useful for you. We have been discussing a lot about the importance of anchoring the global IGF-related efforts to the national level, national and regional level. And in line with this, I would like to invite our colleague Ricardo Pedraza, who is sitting just on my right, to share a little bit his reflections on both national and the role of national and regional IGFs. Ricardo.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Good morning, everyone. Just a few minutes to share with you that if you have been part of any internet governance initiative at your country or at the region you are living, let me extend a kindly invitation to attend a session that is called Inter-Regional Dialogue tomorrow, Wednesday at 2:30 afternoon on room workshop 2. It's just one floor down this floor, and you will be able to exchange with other participants from national or regional IGF what have been their main focuses, their main themes, and identify commonalities and maybe challenges you are facing at your local level. So that's one of the purposes of the session, and the second key purpose of that session is to identify in a jointly manner what mechanisms should contribute to the exchange between national and regional IGF and this global IGF, or this event, and how this event could contribute to the discussion you are facing in your region or in your country. So that's my message. Please, you are kindly invited tomorrow at 2:30. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ricardo, and I personally encourage you to join, especially if you are keen to start something in your respective countries. Getting to learn about how did the others go about it is really, really valuable. When we talk about IGF, we also talk about sustainability of this initiative. But for sustainability to be in place, you need to have people who are capable, who have competences to address and engage meaningfully in the broad IG debate. So I would like to go to Fatima, who is on Ricardo's right, to share a little bit about the capacity building, because capacity building is one of the components that is important in the broader IG ecosystem. So Fatima, sorry, on capacity building.
Thanks, Veronica. My name is Fatima Cambronero. I am MAG member, a civil society representative, and I will speak in Spanish because I can and because we have remote interpretation. So please use this. En relación a los programas y mecanismos de creación de capacidades, primero contarles brevemente que dentro del MAC, dentro del Grupo Asesor Multisectorial, tenemos a este grupo de creación de capacidades que nos hemos ocupado de organizar sesiones previas y esta sesión previa de orientación, especialmente dirigido a quienes están participando por primera vez. Y también este año hemos tenido pre-webinars de capacitación previos a la reunión del IGF. Hemos tenido 2 en la región de África. Judy estuvo a cargo, Judy que está por allí, de organizar estos pre-webinars. Y también tuvimos en la región de América Latina y Caribe, en coordinación con el Foro de Gobernanza de Internet Regional de América Latina y Caribe. Y estos también han servido para guiar a las personas que estaban interesados en participar en el IGF y en los IGF regionales. Luego, a nivel global y a nivel regional, tenemos diferentes iniciativas relacionadas con la creación de capacidades. Muchas de ustedes que las conocen, como el programa Creación de Capacidades de Diplo Foundation. También tenemos un programa de ISOC de Next Generation Leaders que está dirigido a crear capacidades en distintos idiomas. Hay cursos de formación en línea en diferentes idiomas y además un programa más completo de embajadores a distintos eventos relacionados con gobernanza de Internet. Tenemos también dentro de otros espacios como ICANN o los registros regionales de Internet, webinars que están destinados a capacitar a las personas, en algunos casos especialmente a los representantes de la sociedad civil que no tienen formación técnica. Y lo que en muchos de los países de la región, especialmente de América Latina y Caribe, detectamos es que falta esta creación de capacidades a nivel universidades, a nivel de carreras de grado para quienes se están formando en las distintas profesiones, y hay solamente alguna especialización en materias de posgrado. Brevemente, porque ya nos quedamos sin tiempo, contarles que este grupo del MAC de creación de capacidades va a tener el día jueves, el día viernes, el último día, a la hora del almuerzo, de 12:45 a 14:30, una mesa redonda de debate sobre las distintas iniciativas de creación de capacidades y los distintos talleres que pueden encontrar en la agenda, que están identificados entre paréntesis con la letra C, B larga. Todos ellos están invitados a acompañarnos a esa sesión para discutir acerca de estas iniciativas, y es libremente, cualquiera puede participar y unirse a nosotros a debatir sobre estos temas. Y si conocen algunas otras iniciativas locales, regionales o globales que quieran que sean difundidas y que les interese que la gente se involucre y participe, bueno, acérquense a nosotros para difundirlas. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Fatima, and thank you particularly for speaking in Spanish. And I hope this will encourage other people to use other UN languages. IGF does have the interpretation in every session. Use that opportunity, help us listen to other languages as well. The technology allows that. Thank you for raising the issues about capacity building. It's something that we are trying to push between the IGF, so to map the capacity building programs, and as Fatima said, Friday during lunchtime is the good opportunity to listen to what exists and what might be of interest for you. Before we close the session, this part of the session, there are 2 more aspects of how you might continue being involved in the IGF from this time to 2015 in Brazil. One is a very, very important component of the IGF, and I think IGF has been instrumental for developing e-participation and remote participation. For years, IGF has the mechanism to participate, not only to follow the webcast, but to really participate, pose the questions and post the comments, and be involved in discussions through remote participation. There is a mechanism which exists, and I think now we have the Kiev Hub, if I'm not wrong, so hello to Kiev Hub. There are many other cities which gather there, people gather in cities and join us and post their comments. So in case you or any one of your colleagues, friends in your country cannot participate at the IGF physically, there is a mechanism to do that. Use that mechanism and help us stimulate the e-discussions in between the IGFs to walk the talk, to talk about the internet by using the internet. The second thing of how you might get involved, and this is again an encouragement for you, we mentioned the MAG, the Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group. It is being renewed every year. And the end of the mandate of a current MAG is end of this year. So the new call for MAG members is going to be issued, I think, late this year. And the new MAG members will be appointed by the UN Secretary General early next year. It is an amazing experience being a MAG member. It is a chance to try not only to build up the agenda of the next IGF, but also to try to lead the IGF towards future improvements, like the things, some best practices and other good options that we had. So I do invite you to consider, it is quite a time investment, a personal time investment, but it's a great pleasure and it's a great experience. And we do have some colleagues also here from small island states. We don't have that much time to pass the mic now, but there were some sessions about small island states, so this is also a very important component of the IGF. Now, Veronica wanted to invite you to give a bit of feedbacks.
Yeah, just very quickly, what we encourage you to do, please, every time you participate in a workshop, there is a workshop evaluation form, something that would help workshop organizers and us on the multi-stakeholder advisory group to get your input and to make sure that that input is and feedback is being taken into consideration for the next planning phases of the next IGF. So on the IGF webpage, intgoforum.org, you will see the workshop evaluation form. You have the opportunity to choose the name of the workshop you just attended. And if this particular workshop session has been useful for you, I would like to see your hands up. Has this been a valuable experience? Has this been a valuable session for you? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Please enjoy the IGF and be as active and as dynamic as possible. Have a wonderful IGF.
Thank you, Veronica. So I hope you enjoyed and really do give us the feedbacks on that. We go on with the session now. We are turning to the setting the scene session, which will be instrumental to go through the topics and the hot spots of the IGF. Stay with us now. I'm turning the microphone to Jeanette Hoffman and our colleagues, so we're going more through the topics now. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and don't go away. This is going to be even better than the previous session, and I heard it was good. We compete. My name is Anriette Esterhuizen. I'm on the Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group and help to organize this session. I'm going to hand over now to our chair from our host country, Dr. Kerem Alkin, who is a rector at the University of Istanbul, an economist working in economic policy, including in the information technology sector.
First of all, it's a big pleasure to be the host as a country for IGF meeting. I would like to say a very short welcome, and then we will continue with the moderators exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We will now continue the meeting. I open this morning's Setting the Sun session. I hope everyone enjoyed the important orientation session. The Setting the Sun session will build upon the orientation by providing everyone here and participating remotely with a preview of this year's main sessions and sub-themes that we'll be working on and debating throughout the rest of the week. We have many experienced expert panelists with us who will guide our discussion for the next hour and a half. We will frame each of the sub-themes by highlighting related topical issues, and will also provide participants with a preview of how the sub-themes will be addressed throughout the week. Let me remind you what our sub-themes are, and remember, these sub-themes were derived through a long consultative process with the global multi-stakeholder IGF community. The sub-themes this year are as follows: policies enabling access, content creation, dissemination and use, the Internet as an engine for growth and development, IGF and the future of the Internet ecosystem, unchanging digital trust and Internet and human rights, emerging issues and critical Internet resources. I am looking forward to our discussion about these important issues, which will set the stage for the busy and exciting week ahead. I also want to add some personal insights before give the floor or important speakers. I prefer to continue my words in Turkish from now. Bilgi toplumları, bilginin sermaye, insan gücü ve maddi kaynakların yanında stratejik bir üretim faktörü olarak kullanıldığı ekonomiler ve sosyal düzenler olarak tanımlanır. Bilgi toplumunda temel kaynak, bilgi toplumunun gelişmesini sağlayan temel faktör ise bilgi teknolojileridir. Sanayi toplumunda refah yaratmanın temel unsuru olan fiber teknolojilere yapılan yatırımların ve artan genç nüfus ile birlikte özellikle mobil internet kullanımının yaygınlaşmasının oluşturduğu söylenebilir. Bazı rakamlarla Türkiye ekonomisinin nereye gittiğini ve bu anlamda bilgi teknolojileri ve internet kullanımı açısından bizim için neden önemli olduğunu şu verilerle tekrar ifade etmek isterim. Türkiye şu anda yaklaşık 18 milyona yakın ilk ve orta öğretim öğrencisi olan ve bunun yanı sıra 5,5 milyon düzeyinde de yüksek öğretim öğrencisi olan bir ülke konumunda. Bu 5,5 milyonun içerisine yaklaşık 700-800 bin civarındaki lisansüstü öğretim, yani master ve doktora programlarındaki öğrenciler de dahil değil. Rakamlar önümüzdeki 10 yıl içerisinde Türkiye'de yüksek öğretimdeki öğrenci sayısının 7,5 milyonu geçeceğine ve lisansüstü programlarda, yani postgraduate dediğimiz programlardaki öğrenci sayılarının da 2 milyona ulaşacağına işaret ediyor. Bu da tabii ulusal geniş bant politikaları ve internet kullanımı ile ilgili olarak Türkiye'nin her zaman dünya içerisindeyim. Bu arada da belki de bu çalışmaların bir sonucu olarak Ulaştırma Bakanlığımızın şu anda bu organizasyonda ev sahibi konumunda olan bakanlığımızın internet geliştirme kurulu var. Bu internet geliştirme kurulunun da aynı zamanda üyeliğini gerçekleştiriyorum. Yani Türkiye'de internetin gelişmesi adına tüm ekosistemdeki paydaşlarla çalışma yapan bir kurum olma özelliği taşıyoruz. Son bir iki cümle. Birleşmiş